So now the work begins. We won, but now the work begins. We have to bring them home. And, tonight I'm going to be signing on the J6 hostages, pardons, to get them out. And as soon as I leave, I'm going to the Oval Office and we'll be signing pardons for a lot of people,
January 20th, 2025, and it is a glorious day. The new era has begun. There's so much optimism for America and for the world. But of course, there was also some bad today, which is what we're going to get into. So while you were sleeping, Joe Biden used his last few lame duck hours to give blanket pardons out like they're M&Ms to the most corrupt people in Washington, D.C., starting with his own family, of course.
Also, sir, on pardons, have you ruled out a pardon for yourself or any other additional members of the family?
For myself?
Yes, sir.
What would I pardon myself for?
That's what I'm asking.
No, I have no contemplation of pardoning myself for anything. I didn't do anything wrong.
Fake news.
All 6 family members received blanket pardons for 11 years of potential illicit activities, citing Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution. Yet Article 2 does not grant the president unlimited power to give blanket pardons to potential criminals. Luckily, I have my Constitution right here. Let's read Section 2, Clause 1. The President shall be Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy of the United States and of the militia of the several states when called into the actual service of the United States. He may require the opinion in writing of the principal officer in each of the executive departments upon any subject relating to the duties of their respected offices, and he shall have power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States except in cases of impeachment. So in case you missed that, offenses against the United States, which means felonies that you were actually accused with due process and sentenced in a court of law. I really hope the Supreme Court overturns this garbage. And it gets even more interesting. He also gave Dr. Anthony Fauci a full and unconditional pardon, also for crimes committed in the window of 2014 to present. But I thought that he was innocent. He never lied under oath or lied about gain of function or the efficacy of the COVID vaccine or mask mandates.
I think there's probably never before been a cover-up in our country so fully exposed.
The gain-of-function research was going on in that lab, and NIH funded it.
You do not know what you are talking about.
The NIH did fund gain-of-function research.
It is inconceivable that I was trying to cover up the possibility of a lab leak.
I would have thought he would have said, yes, we funded this, and we didn't realize how dangerous it would be. Instead, it was the absolute denial.
Science and the truth are being attacked.
One of the biggest clues we got that there was a cover-up was in 2018, there was a project called Diffuse, and it was proposed by the Wuhan lab.
Burner phones, hand-delivered packages.
Sounds like international espionage. I've referred him to the Department of Justice 3 times.
Is Anthony Fauci a made man?
He certainly seems to be protected.
Also another blanket pardon for the wokest general in America, Mark Millie, who served as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under Biden. It gets even worse. Biden also pardoned the entire January 6th committee of scumbags who wasted $18 million courtesy of the taxpayer to lock up grandmas walking around the Capitol building taking selfies. But speaking of the J6 political prisoners, President Trump on his first day in office just pardoned 1,500 hostages, plus commuted the sentences of 6 of them.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon.
Full pardon or commutations?
Full pardon. We have about 6 commutations in there where we're doing further research. Okay. Nice to see you again.
Thank you, God. These people have been treated like domestic terrorists. Some even committed suicide, which is absolutely heartbreaking. Sentences up to 22 years in federal prison for non-violent crimes. It's absolutely disgraceful. I'll end it with this. The Supreme Court needs to overturn these unconstitutional Biden pardons, and Trump needs to make sure that every single one of the J6 committee of rats, starting with Liz Cheney, sees their day in court for the pain suffered by these political prisoners, with compensation. And Dr. Anthony Fauci and Bill Gates should be next on his list.